Alexa, play Imagine Dragons.
Okay.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get access to over 50 million songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into Cinema Therapy, the podcast for people who know nothing about life but know all about TV. I'm Nicole.
I'm Karen.
We got a great show for you guys. We're actually going to be devoting 2 episodes of our podcast to the holiday season. Very exciting.
Got a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So this first episode, we're going to be talking a lot about Love Actually. This is something that is brings me into the Christmas mood every year, and I feel like that's a mutual feeling for a lot of folks who watched that film when it originally came out. And I will be bringing on 2 guests, some of my best friends. They were my maid of honor and matron of honor at my wedding. My friends are Air and Joy. We went to law school together. I'm really excited for you guys to meet them. But first, I wanted to I want to talk a little bit about how my week has been going. This weekend, I went to D.C., and it was wild. It was a great time.
You just got back.
I literally just got back, and I'm not saying literally like a Kardashian. No, I literally just got back. Dropped off at the train like 10 minutes before I needed to be doing this. So exciting. Went to see a friend of mine for his birthday. Happy birthday, Corey, on Tuesday.
Ooh.
Yes. He had a karaoke party, which was lovely. Karen, how was your weekend? Or week?
Whatever. I've had a week. It's a lot. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of people's energies are sucking me dry.
Oh.
December is really rough.
Yeah.
Yes, the holidays, but it's just a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to a meditation or a podcast meditation about how to take care of yourself during the holiday season and having self-respect for yourself.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot of like saying no to people. And I've been practicing that, and it's been great. I've been saying no to lovers. Because I have so many propositions, I've been saying no to going out to do certain things, and it's been very healthy, and it feels great.
I think saying no is such a powerful tool to protecting yourself. Like, I think sometimes we just want to we feel very conscious about like how our actions affect others and not as conscious about how our choices affect our like mental health.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you've just done too much. Like you need a day to like just stare at the fucking wall and
Yeah.
not like have to do anything.
It's so hard during Christmas time though, because it's like a time of like love, and no one wants to be alone, and you just want to like do all these things and share things with so many people. It's really hard. It's a really hard time to like just be like, no, I want to be alone.
Yeah, because there is this, expectation that you're going to be, connecting with the people that you love the most. But what if you got a lot of people in your life and they have a lot of needs? It might be hard to make it work. I'm struggling with that this year. I really want to do a lot of things. I would really like to go to Chicago for New Year's.
That's a new plan, girl. You were talking about Miami last week.
I want to do so many things. I want to go to Miami for New Year's. I want to go for Christmas. I want to go to LA where David's family is going to be. I have people all over, okay? This is what my life is. But I can't afford to go anywhere. I have to stay here. And it's just frustrating me because I don't know. Like, I know that I can't be at so many places at once. And, I've expended a lot this year. Like, it's a very rational decision to not engage in, like, these big holiday plans this year. But for some reason, I'm still like, every time the holidays comes, it makes it seem like it's the only time for a long time. But really, like, we do this again. Like, this happens again. As long as I live to breathe until 2019 December, we're going to be doing this all again. So
I will see you next year.
Yeah, the stakes aren't so high. I saw a lot of folks at my wedding. But yeah, I'm managing that feeling, and it's gonna be fine. There's so many ways to connect with people. You don't necessarily have to get on a plane. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm managing this feeling.
The holidays will do that to you. You know, so much fucking pressure.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure.
FOMO just gets more important and stronger.
That's why it's important to watch films that make you feel good.
I've been watching a whole lot of films, a whole lot of Christmas films, unlike the really bad ones too.
Oh, I know you love bad things.
I do.
You get too much enjoyment from it. So let's introduce our guests, Joy and Air. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us from Chicago. So excited to have you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, I'm excited.
I knew that I would want to discuss this with you guys because I think back to, well, for our viewers who might not know Karen and I personally, I went to Notre Dame for law school and met Joy and Air from that experience. And we became very, very close. And we took a lot of time to study for our first year exams. And I remember a lot of the times when we just wanted to take a break just to, clear our heads a little bit, we would go and watch like Love Actually or some music videos from the 90s or something just to feel a little bit better, feel like there's just some world outside of law school. And I really treasured that time. So I felt like you guys would have a lot to say about the movie and how you connect within the holidays. So happy to have you guys here.
Yeah, excited to be here. This just made me think about it when you were saying that. I think we may have even watched Love Actually in a study room one time.
I have a very clear memory of this, to be honest. Yeah. I'm glad you remember that too.
Projected it. So yes, this film has a special place in each of our hearts.
Yes, I love it. So I wanted to first talk about what you guys have been doing. What are your holiday travel plans?
Well, I just celebrated Christmas with my in-laws last night. I'm going to be going, so we all did the presents and everything. And so that was nice. And I'm going to be in Florida for about a week over Christmas, and then I'll be back in time for New Year's, which is also Joy's birthday.
Yes.
So
that's going to be amazing.
It is. I'm pretty excited. I have my outfit already.
Yeah, text me photos later.
I'll be here for Christmas. My family is here, so we're just going to have a really simple Christmas at my sister's house. We did Secret Santa, so I only had to buy presents for one person. So it's a super low-key Christmas, family-oriented. Looking forward to it.
That's great. I already said how I don't really have travel plans. We're going to be learning how it is to be newlyweds, creating our own holiday traditions. That's how I'm going to phrase it for myself and be okay with the situation. How about you, Karen?
Well, every year, my life is so unpredictable. So every year, Christmas, I just never know what I'm going to get. This year, I'm staying home, or I'm staying in the city. I just got my Christmas tree today. I had a very sad woman moment walking in the rain with my Christmas tree.
Oh, my God.
Just dragging it. And it's only 2 feet tall. It's really small. But I was struggling, and I was really sad that I didn't have anyone to help me with my tree. And I'm like, next year I'm just going to have it delivered. It's fine. But I'm really excited to make my own traditions. And to, I actually come from a family, a very close family, but everyone is in the Philippines now, or in Miami, or in Washington. We're all separated, so holidays can be a little rough because Christmas was a time where we would get together every year and just sing, do a lot of singing, do a lot of karaoke, dancing. And yeah, I'm a little sad about being alone, but I'm very excited to have my own traditions this year and make my own holiday party.
Yeah, I think I will be joining you for that Christmas party or holiday party. I don't know what you're calling it, what the theme is.
I don't have a theme.
Okay. It's going to be something, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, guys, when I was growing up, a lot of times I would have Christmas in the daytime with my family, and then I would go over and join Karen and her whole Filipino brood, and it was amazing because they would just like have karaoke parties all night, and like they take the singing very, very seriously. Like I think the app is from the Philippines, so like they score you based on like how correct your the text from the lyrics are and how like on
pitch accuracy.
Yes,
too.
pitch accuracy. Like it was legit. Like we were doing a karaoke party yesterday, and it was not like that at all. It was just like a 2-year-old, no rating.
Oh, it's very generous. Yeah, because karaoke can be really cruel.
That's brutal.
It's very brutal. I would never get past like an 85 on karaoke.
And you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you so
crazy.
much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like too many riffing.
Yeah, you were taking too many liberties with the source music. That's not going to work for that app. No, you have to sing it exactly how Celine Dion sang it with the exact same intonations, or the app is like rejection. Rejection. Yeah, I missed that. I did not do well on that app either. I actually think I did well once because I like sang an Aaliyah song, and that one actually matched me pretty well. But everything else, I was probably like never over like a B rating.
You got to know what works for your voice.
Exactly.
Apparently.
Yeah. You learn that with time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys? Were there any movies that you centered your holiday celebrations around? Like. For me, like an example would be Star Wars, because I know it's a random choice, but my dad actually bought me all the DVDs. Like, my dad's kind of a hustler, right? So like he likes to get things like super discounted. He makes friends with employees at stores to try to get like the best deal. And there was some point where he had to have like known someone at Walmart because he was able to get like ridiculous amounts of DVDs. And like that was his Christmas present to everyone. So he got me like all the original Star Wars films, and that became my little like Christmas tradition.
It's a beautiful tradition.
Yeah. And Shrek. That was another one that we like had.
That's
like,
a good one.
Yeah,
a very good one.
Like I don't know why it feels like it is a family movie, but it feels, I guess, because the first time I watched it, it was with all my family there, and everyone was so into it.
Sorry to be off topic, but Mulgueta is like a very hustler name. I'm just like thinking about that right now. Like that's such a strong name.
Mulgueta is my dad's name, and it means chief in Tigrinya.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's the chief of getting discounts. So chiefing it up. All right, cool. So let's talk about your guys' traditions. Like, were there any films that you like to watch around Christmas that get you in the mood?
My brother always made us watch Home Alone. The first two, 1 and 2, he made sure of it. He's the boss because he's the oldest, and so he's very demanding. And so he would make us sit down and watch it, and if we said a word, he would get so angry and rewind it.
Oh my God.
So many times, like, I know what happened. But that's just him. And then another, like on Christmas Day, we would watch Elf on repeat because it was on TBS, I think, and it's just a feel-good, adorable movie, and I love Will Ferrell, so.
Elf is like the one movie that's not streaming on anything right now.
I know.
It's so hard to find.
I'm so upset about it. Yes, I could, but I don't want to because I know if I had cable, I could watch it all the time on TBS.
Yeah.
Joy, isn't Elf your favorite movie?
It is my favorite movie. I actually own a DVD copy of it. Yeah, I just love Elf. I think it's like the most feel-good movie. It doesn't have to be Christmas to watch it, but I definitely have less shame about watching it after November 1st.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a tradition to get me in the mood. Nobody else in my family, everyone else thinks it's super cheesy.
Really?
Everyone else gets my obsession.
I mean, all Christmas
So
movies
it's
are
just-
cheesy.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what you like about them, because they put you in an easier universe, like a world where people
Totally.
believe. Like the first time I watched it, I think you forced me to watch it. You're like, you haven't seen Elf, you need to see Elf. And I was like being my bougie self and being like, oh, Will Ferrell, like, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that.
Yes, I was absolutely wrong. I've also like changed my mind about Will Ferrell. Like, Anchorman is a great film.
Yeah.
So, people change. But yeah, so like the first time I watched it, I was like, this is cute. The second time I watched it, I was like, this is so endearing and beautiful. Like,
So endearing.
yes, like it just like it's such a great film about like preserving that childlike wonder. Yeah, just like that's such an important thing to preserve in life in general, to just appreciate like that joy that comes without that cynicism and stress of life. Like, there's beautiful things that you can just enjoy, and it's great. Like, I don't know. I love that film. It's just so positive and sweet, and it's really endearing to me. Joy, that's your favorite film. It's so cute.
I love Elf. So cute.
Yeah, and I actually think it's probably one of the least cheesiest of most holiday movies. You know what I mean?
I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cheesy.
It's not,
really.
but yeah.
Like,
I think it's unjudged as my favorite movie overall. Not like my favorite Christmas movie. I think that's what it is.
It's
So
her
like when I'm
favorite
watching
movie.
it in July.
yeah, no. It is her favorite movie.
I
I
love
want to make
that.
that very clear. But I think that is a beautiful thing.
It
like,
is very beautiful.
because like it's very pure. What I like about it is like I'm gonna quote Friends right now. There's like a Friends episode where they're like, "What's the movie Rachel says is her favorite movie?" And I don't remember
Weekend at
what she.
Bernie's.
No, and that's when they say like, what's her real favorite movie? And it's Weekend at Bernie's. Because we get judged for our favorite movie. People are like, okay, if that's your favorite movie, then you're whack. Like, you're a whack ass person who doesn't have sophisticated taste. Like, you ain't
Right.
deep or whatever. Like, no, you can like things because it makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Like, it makes you think of a beautiful time. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't have to be like, you can like what you like, basically. Like, whatever makes you happy.
Thank you.
I respect. And I very much respect that film in
Absolutely.
particular. We're actually on our second episode, we're gonna be talking to real elf from Santaland.
Yeah, Erin Johnson was a head elf at Santaland in New York City for the past 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
So get
Yeah.
ready for that.
That'll be interesting.
That's an episode on seasonal depression as well.
Wow. a lot to discuss. So let's get to the topic at hand. Love Actually. Guys, why do we love this movie?
Because it's the greatest film in history, I think.
Thank you for that very enthusiastic answer, Air.
I can't express how much I freaking love this movie. And when I saw that it was on Netflix for the holidays, I almost cried. Joy and I watched this on Friday.
Oh.
We were supposed to go out, but I was like, "Hey, just come over. Let's watch a movie." And of course, everyone voted to watch Love Actually because it explores so many different love from so many different perspectives, all different types of love. And it's just like a warm and fuzzy, perfect holiday movie.
I agree. How about you, Joy? What do you love about it?
I think Love Actually was one of the first movies to do this ensemble cast, multiple storylines thing.
Yeah, I think so.
And it does it well. So I like that we like to see insight into so many different stories, and it's just enough that you're satisfied and feel like the storyline has moved forward, but it's not too much where the film doesn't make any rush to close storylines. So there's a lot of openness at the end. I think that's different because a lot of films are often make too much of an effort to put a bow around.
Yeah, close up those loose ends. Yeah.
Exactly, and they really don't. So and they do it well. So I think that's unique.
And it is realistic because a lot of times you might have some insight into a relationship and it seems like you know where they're heading, but we really don't. We're seeing it in a fraction of time, and a relationship at one point can look very different at a later point in their life. So, I mean, maybe Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson were able to go to couples therapy and figure their shit out. But
maybe not.
Maybe not.
I hope she left his ass.
I mean, that's what I hope for. Karen, you seem to have something you want to say about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just watched it this morning again. But I don't know. The final scene at the airport is very telling that, okay, he went away for a bit. You know, they needed some space. And I think they're trying again.
It looks like they're...
That's what I want to believe.
It does look like there's some effort there, but she also looks dead in her eyes. Like, it looks like she's like, fuck. Like she's in a relationship coma, which is like the most depressing thing.
Relationship coma?
Yeah.
I've just copyright that right now. Relationship coma.
Oh my God. I know so many people like that.
It just feels like you're going through the motions and it's like, okay, well, we have kids, so like.
I know, but he's not a bad guy.
He is a bad guy.
Oh, here we go. He's not a bad guy.
Okay, Karen, make your case, and then we're going to come to
He did a bad thing.
He did a very bad thing, but that does not make him a bad guy.
Okay,
he bought someone a necklace, but
a very ugly necklace. That was a crime in itself.
Any further?
Do we know that? Do we know that for sure?
Of course we know.
We don't even know what. Like, we don't know that something else happened. Like, they didn't depict a sexual moment between them. But like, how did he give her the necklace? It could have been at a hotel room after they had sex.
Stop.
We don't know.
Stop this.
I mean, I'm trying to burst your bubble. Like, he might not have just spent some money on a necklace, which, first of all, rude. You just buy your wife a CD. $15 maybe.
So rude.
Okay. So are we saying that it's not forgivable? That he is not, like, this is not a forgivable thing?
No, I'm saying that based on my limited understanding of what happened in their relationship, I'm not pleased with him at all. And I just don't have enough evidence that he is a good person. Like, you know, he's Alan Rickman, so I'm sorry, I'm not remembering the character's name at this point. But, you know, Alan Rickman is a very charming man, and, like, he seems to, like, appreciate women as, like, more than just, like, sexual objects. So, like, he has that moment with Laura Linney where he's encouraging her to speak up and say...
Very endearing.
Yeah, like, that was very sweet. And his little awkward moments with the girl, with the secretary... At first, it's like, oh, like, maybe he sees this flirtation and might be flattering, but he could have turned it down. Like, I don't feel like she did enough for him to really, like, he didn't fall in her pussy. Like, he had to have, like, made more effort to, like, make this happen. Like, I don't know. So for people who haven't seen the movie, Alan Rickman is married to Emma Thompson. And he buys his someone who works for him a necklace for Christmas. Mm-hmm. After she indicates, like, she wants that D. Like,
exactly.
she's very aggressive in making her moves towards him. It's
right.
Like, you know, dances with him at the Christmas party in front of his wife, like, cozying up.
You're right.
Opens up her legs at the office.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting triggered right now. So maybe it's not forgivable. But yes, Emma Thompson sees that Alan Rickman has bought a necklace, and she assumes that it is for her. And she has a moment where she's like, "Wow, okay, maybe the spark is back. This is something new. You know, he's like bringing in a little something special this year. Mm-hmm. It's not just a scarf again." And on Christmas Eve, she opens the box, and it's a Joni Mitchell CD, and it's not the necklace.
Yep.
And so we realize that the necklace is for his secretary.
Yes, which is very upsetting. It did facilitate one of my favorite...
Always a secretary, sorry.
It did facilitate one of my favorite scenes in the film, because Emma Thompson, like, such a terrific actress. She has that moment in a room where she is realizing, okay, he bought a necklace, but that necklace didn't go to me. It went to someone else. What is happening? What is this relationship? And you can see her like grappling with all of that. The tears are falling. This Joni Mitchell song is coming on, and oh my gosh, like it's really beautiful. But it's really friggin' depressing. And when you finish the film, you don't know like whether they're ever going to be happy again. So it's kind of like one of the darker resolutions of one of the subplots. That and the one with Laura Linney and that really handsome guy. I should have like wrote down these actors' names, but like
Rodrigo Santoro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Air. Yes. So like that whole situation made me so sad. So if you haven't seen the movie, Laura Linney has this crush on a coworker for some time. She finally, after some encouragement, decides to, make a little bit more effort, put some lip gloss at the office, whatever. And then at the holiday party, he seems to be aware that she's into him, dances with her. They drive home together, and basically, it looks like they're going to get down. Like the sex is going to happen. It's going to be great. They're literally taking off each other's clothes when she gets a call from her brother. We learn that she gets repeated calls throughout the film from some unknown person, and we learn that it's her brother who is in a mental health facility and seems to be really troubled, is grappling with some sort of mental health disorder, and she continues to take these calls throughout them trying to have sex. And basically, like, it seems like at the end of the movie, it's like, well, I'm committed to my love for my brother. Mm. But, like, for me, it's so sad because, like, you can be a good sister and take care of your brother and still, like, find your own romance. I don't know. Does anyone have, like, any thoughts on this? Like, I have a hard time dealing with that.
Yeah, it's definitely the more tragic scenes in the film, also because he's just so damn fine. Like, nice.
So sexy.
And Snack, as Blair, our friend Blair said earlier. I was like, did you say Snack? So, yeah, that's definitely one of the more difficult things to watch. But I think it does raise that sometimes, like, you do have a family priority that's just interfering with your ability to do anything else. And sometimes you have to choose. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I can't imagine that her situation is unique. Because you think about, as parents age, a lot of the times, disabled or mentally ill, that responsibility falls on the siblings. So, at the end of the day, like, yes, you want both, but that takes a special person to allow you to essentially prioritize a family member as much as you do the relationship, and they're just clearly not at that like level yet, and so she can't have fun, and that sucks. And it's like a reality that you don't typically see in a lighthearted film.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I would agree with that. That is true. There are going to be situations where you are going to have other responsibilities that you have to take care of, and you, like, especially when it's the concept of a new attraction, you don't know where this is going to go. Your responsibility to your family, to your brother, whatever, but you don't know if this is going to potentially end up being something real. So you might have endangered or, I feel like a lot of why she takes those phone calls is she has a fear that he's going to hurt himself. It seems like he has a lot of anger and reacts physically. So I feel like it's her trying to give as much support as she can over the phone. So I can understand there being some guilt there. Like, if I'm not able to take care of him, then what? Right. Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to be there for him?
Yeah, and I think
sorry, go ahead.
No, please go.
Well, I was just going to say I agree with everything that Joy and Nicole just said about the situation, except that, he's in a facility and there are professionals looking after him. So my view of her taking the phone calls, going to see him is just another way where, it's just like another demonstration of how she is just too afraid to live her own life. And maybe it's because she spent her whole life kind of being there for her brother, and so she doesn't know how to enjoy different aspects of her life. Just like she was sitting in her office for how long? I want to say it was like 2.5 years, and she kind of goes like 2.5 years, 6 months, and 7, whatever.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of time.
She's just like a very passive, living her life in a very passive way, and I think, it is a pretty real depiction of how, when you have a family member who really doesn't have anybody else, you shoulder that responsibility for so long, and then you forget how to, live your own life. And that really hit me. That was a very sad situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there is even a scene where, she realizes that she's not going to pursue things with Carl, her love interest, and she calls her brother, for support. Yeah. And so it's very telling that she's very reliable on him too.
Like it could be some codependency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if that was the writer's intent, then that's deep. He is. He wrote 4 Weddings and a Funeral. He wrote About Time, a really underrated rom-com. If you guys ever want, his name is Richard Curtis. And he wrote Mamma Mia, the sequel that you love so much.
Incredible.
I mean, I can't speak on it, but I can't speak on it. Yeah, I will watch it. But yeah, I think I like his tone very much because it has like some sort of, it's very like, it has that British humor that's kind of like awkward and off-putting sometimes, kind of like strange situations. But he also is really good at portraying very, the grittier, like harder decisions in life, like the more uncomfortable positions that you are when you have a lot of different relationships that you have to attend to. And he's really good at like portraying platonic relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to talk about our favorite subplots that were romantic in the film, like the ones that are like that just make your heart pitter patter. How about you, Joy? Was there a certain couple that you were a fan of?
Yeah, so this is a little different, and since we rewatched this film on Friday, I've been talking about it a lot, partially in preparation for this show.
Thank you.
So I had brunch with an old friend today, and he brought this up, and it's a good point. I think the love between the Liam Nelson, whatever his last name is, and his son is like my favorite in the movie.
Yes. Liam Neeson.
Neeson.
Yes.
It's super cute because there's this backstory of like the biological mother had died, and so it's actually his stepson, and they're just like buddies, and he's giving him like real advice, like treating him like the individual little growing human he is, and letting him explore his little crush on the singer girl. And I just think they have such an authentic friendship love that was born out of a non-traditional space, and it just shows, different parenting styles. And so I think it's a subtle but really cute and really authentic point of the movie.
I love that. I really admire the way that he talks to his son. Apart from one time when he kind of like laughs at him, he's like, "Oh, it's love. It's not like a huge deal." Like so, in the film, Liam Neeson's character, his wife just passes away, and he's dealing with being the sole caretaker of his stepson now. And he is really worried because it seems like he's in a deep depression. He's not talking to him at all. And finally he, confronts him and is like, let's talk, what's going on. And he explains that he has a crush on a girl in school. And he kind of laughs it off, is like, it's just love. It's just a crush, whatever. And he's like, it's love, like the worst possible thing that can happen.
Yeah.
I was like,
there's nothing worse than falling in love.
And from that moment,
Whoa, Karen, whoa.
I know she gets dark sometimes. Don't mind her.
He says though.
Well, I mean, yes,
agony.
Yes, it's true. What I appreciate is like right after that moment, he respects everything that he's feeling. And I think that that's such a good thing to bring into your relationships with your children, because a lot of times you're like, oh, you know, it's not going to matter in like 10 years, whatever. But that doesn't do anything to address how you're feeling in that moment. Like your feelings are still real. How are we going to manage that? Fine, like we'll figure that out. But the fact that he doesn't just like, you know, okay, it's a crush, I'm just gonna leave it alone now. He actually like asks more questions about like who this girl is. Has he talked to her? He sees it as a real issue that's obviously bothering his stepson. So why not treat it with the same dignity as any other problem?
Right.
I agree with you, Joy. That's a beautiful little relationship. I love their little Titanic moment. It was super cute.
They're adorable.
How about you?
Yeah, well, my favorite, well, it's not romantic, I guess, like Joy's, but my favorite relationship that's depicted in this movie is Billy Mack and his manager.
Yes, that's my favorite.
And when we were watching this, it was Joy, myself, and two of our other law school friends, and one of them was so convinced that they're gay, and she's like, of course they're gay, it's so obvious, they just like didn't say it. And I was like, oh no,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's like totally missing the point, I think.
Yeah.
Of like, they've spent their whole lives together, you know, their whole adult lives together, and only this year when he's trying to make a comeback and he's just feeling really crappy about himself, this when he realizes that nobody else makes him happy, and who he wants to spend Christmas with is this dear friend who he calls ugly and fat. But, you know, there's like, and it's funny because he always tries to, you know, he'll say something nice, like he loves him, and then he'll say, oh, no, let's get shit-faced and watch porn. And it's like, it's okay, you know, but yeah, I just think it's such a cute relationship in a weird time in both of their lives, I think.
Yeah. Billy Mack's character is so funny, first of all. Like, I love all of his moments throughout the film. And you think, like, he's just there for comic relief. And then he has this really sweet moment with his manager. He gets it, like, his song becomes the number one song, which is what they were working towards the whole movie. And then he's invited to Elton John's party, like presumably the best party you can go to on Christmas Eve in London, apparently. And he decides, like, you know what? Like, I need to be with my friend. And, like, there's nothing about that interaction. Like, the hug that they have together, it seems like maybe they've hugged twice in their life. Like, there was no, like, it didn't feel like a very comfortable physical reaction, but it seemed like it needed to happen. It felt like a release of, like, just, like, showing that intimacy that they have in their friendship. I don't see any, like, sexual tension at all. I don't see, like, Billy Mack.
Doesn't he say in love? Doesn't he say, like, I'm in love with you?
Yeah.
I think that's what I thought it was in love. Is it just love?
I know he says, it turns out you are the love of my life.
Yes, that's what he says.
Yeah.
Love of my life.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And maybe
Which
the
is
love
a
of your life.
huge proclamation.
Yeah, because sometimes the love of your life is not going to be someone you have sex with, like, or someone you're attracted to. Sometimes it's going to be like the person who's understood you the most, the person you feel like the most comfort with, and that might not actually connect with the person that you're physically attracted to or have some sort of romantic situation with.
Right.
Someone who
That's very fair.
sees you.
Yes, everybody want to be seen. Yeah, I think it was so cute. Billy Mack. I like the concept of Colin Firth with the Portuguese woman.
Aurelia.
Pretty name. I like it. I like the concept of it because I really like Colin Firth. He's a really adorable actor. And the idea that you can fall in love with someone who speaks a completely different language than you, there is that huge communication barrier. I think it's a cute idea to play with. And I liked their, like, car rides, and the fact that they have the scene where all of his writings end up in the lake because she took up a coffee cup that was holding all the papers down, and she's like fishing for it in the lake. Like it's such a cute moment. Like I feel like it works really well for the film, but I have so many questions. I'm just like, how, like, why? Like, why do you like each other? Like, Aurelia, do you not know any other guys in your town that speak your language? Like, I just, like, I'm a little confused, but I like the whole resolution at the end when he's, like, coming to the parents and he's, like, learning Portuguese. I think that's really sweet. Like, that, and, like, that effort to, you know, connect with her. Like, that's a really beautiful idea. I'm gonna learn a new language, which is a huge undertaking.
It's a grand gesture.
Yeah, it's a very grand gesture.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes, actually, that my sister and I connect on is when he goes to his Christmas party with his family, and he sees everyone, and everyone's happy to see him, and then he's like, sorry, guys, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and he just bounces on his family.
I hate Uncle David.
I hate Uncle Jamie. But I do love Colin Firth's character for, like having one of the biggest gestures in the whole film. Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing that, like, I think what I need from love is, like, a grand gesture, you know? So I really appreciate that as well. But I also feel like maybe he was just lonely and sad.
I mean, he literally, like, was it his fiance? They were living together. He just got out of, like, a seemingly very serious relationship.
Right.
Cheated on him with his brother. I don't know how it could get any worse. And, like, how is this woman not, like, his...
You know what? It's not... It's more than what's said. There's more things happening.
I know that there is, but maybe the more things that are happening are not good things. Like,
she saved his work. Like, she went...
I mean, she didn't, though, because all that shit was soggy, and, like, that wasn't... Okay.
But again, gestures mean everything.
Okay, yes, I agree. There is romance in the fact that he's trying so hard to, you know, actually understand each other. And it seems like she also met that after. Yeah. So, like, in that scene, it shows, like, the lengths that you're willing to take when you, like, see someone and you're trying to get to where they are, like, understanding their point of view and how they relate to life. Like, I think that's a great depiction of that. I just don't know how realistic it is to...
Well, I think... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
This relationship, I think, is the most typical in a rom-com, you know, because it's so unrealistic. Like, there are so many unanswered questions, you know, like Karen was saying. The gestures, of course, they're important, but he doesn't even know this woman, and they don't speak the same language. And he, like, learns Portuguese and then goes to her town and, like, asks her to marry him. And it's like, I think this is the only storyline that is, you know, the kind of classic, unrealistic, but very romantic, depiction of a relationship, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's very old world.
Old world. Like, I guess, what's that movie? Like, where they meet at the Empire State Building?
Sleepless in Seattle?
No. The one that kind of,
I don't know.
They were supposed to meet, and then she, like, was paralyzed or something. I think that's what happened. I can't.
What?
I'm sorry. This is an old film.
Is that a movie?
Yes.
Oh, an old one.
This is an old film, and I'm for the life of me, I cannot remember the name. And now, it's really, but it's really dark. Because they were supposed to meet at the Empire State Building, and she literally could not
talk about that movie in Sleepless in Seattle. Though.
That's why. Yeah, I don't even know why I brought that up now.
But basically, the Colin Firth storyline was the old world. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna marry you. Like,
opposites attract. We come from completely different places.
Yeah.
We're going through there's a lot of impediments that keep us from being together. And then you're able to overcome that. That's like the classic rom-com situation.
A man saving an immigrant woman. Sorry, that's not what I'm...
Oh my God.
It's just very triggering for me. Like, yeah, never mind. That happens a lot in the Philippines. People going to the Philippines to marry these women to bring them to the States. I know that's not the same thing, but it kind of reminds me of that. That's all I'm going to say.
My jaw just dropped.
All I'm going to say.
Well, I mean, that is a thing that happens.
I met somebody like that in Cancun. I was in Cancun for Thanksgiving with my family, and we went to Tulum, and there was a really young, like maybe 9-year-old boy with a really old guy. He must have been 65 at the youngest. And the whole time I was like, oh, is this his dad or his grandpa, you know? And they were cute and everything, but then he was explaining that he, like, had a pen pal in the Philippines.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's very common.
Flew over to meet her, and they got married, and now they have 2 kids. And I'm like, damn, that's wild.
It's very common.
I mean, maybe he got cheated on by his brother, like with his girlfriend's brother. Yeah. Like, that's the worst situation ever. Maybe, like, you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, mail order bride. That's
at the end of the all day, Americans.
Yeah.
Yes. Every single one.
Right. Yeah. Cannot be trusted. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We really appreciate your insights, your enthusiasm, your support for this show. You both are so great. Join Air, I love you so much.
Thank you.
I love you. Thank you for having us and what you guys are doing. This is good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, so we're going to plug our show. Find us at Cinema Therapy Show on Instagram. Follow me at Nicole Sophia with a PH, and follow Karen at KJ Pangantijon.
Too much to say.
You got to spell that.
Pangantijon. All right. So now that we all know how to spell Pangantijon, thank you all for tuning in. Oh, sorry, Karen. You have something to say?
I just want to say one last thing. My favorite storyline was the Andrew Lincoln story with Keira Knightley. It's Unrequited Love. I'm convinced Andrew Lincoln is a Scorpio because he's like the kind of guy that's like in love with someone but is like mean to them. That's a very Scorpio thing to do. I just want to say that's my favorite one.
Karen,
really triggers.
If we had more time in this episode,
that's all I wanted to say.
I really wanted to. I want more to say about that because I don't like that storyline.
It's my favorite.
I mean, I liked it when I was younger and like there was no stakes for me. I'm like, oh,
our views on love are different, Nicole.
Okay, like just like the idea that he's a shitty friend. He's a shitty friend. Sorry, like you don't.
And they kiss.
They kiss. And she's bad too. You just got married.
I'm a bad person.
I mean, like I could see why like it's romantic. Like I'm into it, but I'm just like no. Like no.
Well,
no.
On that note, thank you everyone. Thank you, Air. Thank you, Joy. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Tune in next week for holiday episode 2. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ho, 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 ho. What can I get you?
Hey, Santa. A pony and an iPhone for my mom. She really wants one.
That's a lot.
Look, at Metro, they'll give you an iPhone 6S just for switching.
Jolly jingle bells. I should switch to Metro.
It's smart. You should.
Get this unbelievable deal under your tree. Switch and get an iPhone 6S on us. Hurry, because deals this good don't last long. Metro by T-Mobile. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Not valid for current T-Mobile network numbers or numbers active on Metro in past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Ho, 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 ho. What can I get you?
Hey, Santa. A pony and an iPhone for my mom. She really wants one.
That's a lot.
Look, at Metro, they'll give you an iPhone 6S just for switching.
Jolly jingle bells. I should switch to Metro.
It's smart. You should.
Get this unbelievable deal under your tree. Switch and get an iPhone 6S on us. Hurry, because deals this good don't last long. Metro by T-Mobile. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Not valid for current T-Mobile network numbers or numbers active on Metro in past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.